Exploring new horizons. These are some little snippets of ideas. Meet them where they are, take them somewhere. You can transfer that to 100 different ways, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, but that is the issue. There was a Greek philosopher who once said that celebrate progress no matter how little. Think about that. Celebrate progress no matter how little. And did we notice that Johnny figured out 2 or 3 more fingerings today than he had yesterday with that B flat scale? You know, that we realized that Jim Hacker is a better adjudicator today than he was a year ago. You didn't realize that? Oh, no, I did. Just checking to see if you're awake. Create opportunities for growth. You know, sometimes our assessment of what we want our students to perform versus what they are capable of, they don't match up. I mean, so many times I listen to people, directors in the summer, beginning of fall, well, you've heard the proverbial, what is your band playing at contest? You know, what are you playing? What are you playing? Well, I've decided I'm going to do Schwantner and the Mountains Rising Somewhere. Nowhere. But they have no concept of what their strengths, their weaknesses are, what tunes, they haven't sight read, the students don't understand. They don't understand where their students are, but they've decided, by golly, they're going to do this and that and the other. Also, in extending yourselves, what happened to the older days? And not old, and mind you, young folks, first 1 to 7 years, I don't mean like the new against the old. I'm talking about people like Dwayne Hendon, our executive director, who the first week that I taught, get this, he came to my band room. He introduced himself. He asked me if he could help me. He realized that I'm visually impaired and that I didn't drive. He took me to the store. He saw that I didn't have furniture. He gave me furniture. Dwayne Hendon bought my first set of dishes. When I was and I hadn't been, and I didn't know him. I thought, well, who is this guy? He's wonderful, but I didn't know him. But Dwayne did it because he was a good person, and he saw that I needed some kind of support, and this is what we should all be like. And I think if you are a new teacher or 1 through 5 or 6 years, I encourage you, stepping outside of yourself, expanding yourself, also means to help someone else. Find out the new people in your area. Help them grow. You will grow by exposing yourselves to new and different things and helping others. And that's a big part of growth to me, of expansion, is when you are not just in your own little box called your band room, and you're not and to where you are the superior person and you are making the grade and you are getting the best ratings in your program and your program and your program, but you are a part of everyone else, you see. And everyone else's success is your success. And everyone's failure is your failure, becomes your failure. That's growth. That's expansion, in my opinion. And, of course, the development of life value is very important. And I know that's very, very broad. But you would be surprised how many of your young people are very impressionable, and how much they will learn from you, good and bad. You know, if you're highly competitive and you're all about winning, and your students love you, then they will be highly competitive and all about winning also. Anyway, the diversity issue is vitally important, and whenever I speak, I talk about it. Our population is changing so much, and it's not just culturally, ladies and gentlemen. It's socio-economic. It's financial. I mean, we are having more students below and right at the poverty line come into our programs. You know, even the mega programs are having issues financially. You know, foreclosures. Florida in particular, ASBDA colleagues we're in trouble. I mean, our not only our tourism, but our real estate, housing, work, unemployment, etc. And we have to understand these issues and stepping forward and understand that in the next 10 or 15 years, it's not going to get much better. So we have to understand that. You know, your band fee is $2,000 for the year. Here you go, write the check, or you can do car washes for the rest of your life to make that much money. We have to change, right? Richard Davenport is laughing. Good, Richard. You got to stop that, right? At least bring it down to $1,500 this year, right? I'm only kidding, man. You're one of my guys. Okay. Alternative performance. Very interesting, isn't it? But I'm not saying, okay, let's go berserk, get costumes, and go out and change everything, but just something different, something different. You know, in other cultures, other countries, it is okay for the performing ensembles, for example, to have synchronized movement while they're performing, or costume-related musical theater type instrumental performances. And I'm not saying sell out our art, but I'm just simply saying that thinking about it in the classical sense, what can we do to create alternative performance opportunities in our future? And I think that there's a lot. And I think that some of this will attract the students who would not normally be involved in our area of expertise in education. Many of these students, again, when you think, for example, about the vocabulary of a minority and who comes from an impoverished background, and they are at a reading level. Let's talk about reading just for a second. And they're about here, say, I don't know, 15, 20,000 words, as opposed to another student in the high socioeconomic situation where they're at about 60,000 words, and then when throughout the education process, the lower person has to play catch up. Well, that's happening all of the time. So when your students come into your beginning band program for the first day, middle school directors, and you say, "Welcome to band, I'm so glad to have you here." You would not imagine that a few of the students may not even understand you. You know, it may be to some degree a foreign language for even English-speaking students. So understanding where they have come from to take them somewhere, very, very important. But I'm just trying to get you to, again, I'm not an advocate for saying, you know, let's take Lake Brantley High School with Cindy Berry and dress them up in costumes and put them out, and not at all. But I'm simply saying that in order for us to grow as a profession, Florida Bandmasters, ASBDA, we have to look outside of ourselves in order to expand and grow. And that's how we do it. I spent the last year and a half being a part of the Florida Music Educators Executive Board, and boy, have I grown even more understanding what I call the big picture. And the big picture for me is that for FMEA, it's about everything. It's about everything. It's about band, it's about chorus, it's about orchestra, it's about elementary, it's about general music. Everything, you know, has to be taken into consideration before decisions are being made, have been made.